America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
It is not a raid. It is a home invasion. It's not an arrest. It's a kidnapping. You did not commit a crime.
It is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
So I'm going to move on to another story that, surprise, surprise, is also out of California. How do they keep arresting all these people in illegal California? How's that work? That is absolutely crazy. So a man attempting to flee from an armed robbery is unfortunately kidnapped by his assailants. 31-year-old cannabis farmer Justin June Shen, of Lake Elsinore, California, attempted to flee the scene of an armed robbery which occurred at his residence on Desert Rose Drive Thursday afternoon. A group of armed assailants, all wearing matching uniforms and badges, looted through his home and destroyed the crop of 1,500 cannabis plants. Shen attempted to escape the violent group of men, but was taken hostage at gunpoint in a nearby field not long after running. The perpetrators have been identified as members of the, you ready for it? Riverside County Sheriff's Department.
Raise your hand if you're surprised.
Raise your hand if you're shocked. The criminals claimed that they were told that there was possible marijuana remnants found in a dirt field near the home, according to Riverside County Sheriff's Sergeant Glenn Warrington. Glad you were on top of that, Sergeant Warrington. I'm pretty sure a quick drone pass could have told you that. You had to have a concerned citizen make the phone call. And here's my problem with that is the anonymous phone calls. I'm not saying that I'm against them. They're needed in matters of violence, theft, actual crime.
Things that create victims.
We need that venue where people can make reports anonymously. But when you're allowed to make anonymous reports on your nonviolent friend growing weed in his backyard, the cop could have his bowling buddy make the phone call, or his wife, right? Or maybe the phone call wasn't even made because they don't have to require that documentation. It's all shielded. How do we stop that?
I don't think you can. I think it's just an unintended consequence of prohibition. When you can make anonymous calls and it's for any crime, and we make nonviolent crimes, victimless crimes a thing, then you can send people to jail for creating no victims.
Yeah, just for no reason.
And ruin their life. Since I can Google a background check basically on anyone, it does. It ruins their life. They can't get decent housing. They can't get a decent job. No matter what drug it is, if they one day kick this addiction, they should be allowed every opportunity the rest of us have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you do the time, or you do the crime, you do the time. Once you're done doing the time, there's no reason why you should not be able to enter back in society exactly at the point at which you started, except in the cases of violence.
When you create the victim.
When you create a victim, all these things that, do you know that the sentence for like cannabis possession is like higher, in excess of 10 years in some states, than that of child rape?
If you get drunk and drive your vehicle and run over a baby, you'll get less time than if you sell marijuana to somebody, especially if you go do it over state lines. Less time. Getting drunk and murdering a baby.
It's insanity.
You get less time. Vehicular manslaughter, look it up.
It's absolute insanity. A lot of times they catch these people when they're kids, and then that's it. You know, you're in the system forever. You're a criminal. No one ever takes you seriously. You're just some dumb, druggy kid. Are you kidding me? A lot of the pop stars I know are like these intelligent savants, right? Just imagine if the system didn't kick a lot of these kids down, how much innovation and like productivity we would have in the community if these people were actually allowed to be members of the community.
You can actually already see it if you look at the progression of the quality of weed we've had since Prohibition started to end. You'll see what these criminal kids have been doing. THC levels are rising. They're figuring out different ways of making concentrates.
Dude, they're geniuses. I mean, they're like little chemists and stuff.
And then they get into the non-psychotropic cannabis, where you get into your CBDs and your terpenes, where they lower the THC, but it still gives you all the benefits.
Speaking of that, actually, I want to do a quick shout out. And I need to look it up because I don't want to say the new word wrong. My homies Curtis Carpenter and Dean Richards, also savants of cannabis. Mr. Richards actually went to Jorge Cervantes' School of Cannabis right here in Colorado. Jorge Cervantes wrote the Cannabis Encyclopedia like back in the 70s. He was one of the first scientists to come out and try to explain this plant in print, and that helped get a lot of the research going that we see now. But Curtis and Dean have figured out how to make hemp extract that is federally legal because it is CBD, but it is very high in terpene content. Because of what Dean knows of terpenes, he knows that terpenes are actually what's responsible for like that fuzzy head feeling, that like stuck in the couch feeling, that get up and go feeling, those different feelings that you get from different plants. It's really the terpenes, right? The THC helps, but the terpenes get the job done. So they've created psychoactive CBD. No joke. I haven't had a sample of this yet. I'm not going to say I'm ashamed of you guys. I know you're busy. They were just down in Ocean City Science and doing some head shops.
And you need our P.O. box.
They know where to find me, but definitely check out LIT, that's L-I-I-T, Psychoactive Hemp. I will put the link in my profile, hopefully, if all goes well. So they were just at the Eastern Shore marketing this stuff to some head shops around there, so they'll be selling it directly at a lot of the head shops on the boardwalk. Down the ocean, hun, for any of you Marylanders watching. But it should be coming around. I know these guys are super driven, and I would not be shocked to see this stuff nationwide by Christmas.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. So you can go to the store and you can get federally legal CBD that will get you couch locked or get you energized.
Hopefully, I'm going to try it out and find out. L-I-I-T.
LIT, Psychoactive Hemp. And that's their new logo, which is kind of cool. Pops, right? I'm the Commander-in-Chief, and I approve this message. Visit platoon420.com today and take the pledge. I will stand tall in the face of tyranny for the best interest of myself and my community. I denounce the archaic drug laws that have made victims of people they were written to protect, and I will not support any legislation that regulates what a person puts in their body.